Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, guys. My name is Sean Dexter. My name is Sean Dexter. My name is Sean Dexter, and I welcome you back to the Mango Grove for your daily Bitcoin and Chainlink analysis video. We also have sitting with us over here, Krisha. Krisha, say hi.
What's up, you guys?
And hey, Krisha, it's a brand new day. It's a brand new week. But more importantly, it's a brand new month. You can hear the excitement in my voice. Why am I excited? Krisha, do you want to give them a hint?
Well, because we closed over a major monthly level that we were eyeing for some time now.
Exactly. We've been eyeing this not for only a few days, not for a few weeks, but almost a month, right? Since the beginning of last month, we said, what if Bitcoin closes a monthly candle above 9,350? What are the implications? Well, guess what? We did close a candle above 9,350, and everyone knows that something is coming, something is brewing. But hey, I'm here to tell you that we may actually see a downside move in the short term, and we'll be talking about why in this video. But before we get on to that, let me go on over to the Mango Research dashboard right over here. And Krisha, do you see it? BTC USD has flipped neutral.
Oh, damn.
Yep, it has been saying short for the longest time, right? All the altcoins had flipped long and gave us some really good trades. Hey, by the way, guys, our ADA trade, just like we talked about, right? Around what I think a week, 10 days ago, more than that, we said, hey, ADA is beginning to look really good. Again, big shout out to JL Wolf. He's one of the first guys to point ADA out to me, and I took a look at it and I was like, wow, this is really good. And another shout out to WAG, he also mentioned it. So yeah, the YouTube commenters are actually helping out Mango trade better. So big shout out for you guys. And Krisha, Zilliqa too. This is the first time we have a trade that is in the top gainers over here. At least I think it's the first time. Yeah, Zilliqa doing really well, and yeah, man, I'm just excited overall because again, trades all going well. Bitcoin is looking exciting, and yeah, I feel like everybody is excited. Everybody's looking for those opportunities. Is that a red flag actually, Krisha? Do you think that?
I don't think so. It's like you need reason to sort of go against the grain. You know, you can't just go against the grain when the technicals are telling you that, hey, everything is bullish. Like, you know, there's a time to go against the grain.
Indeed.
But I don't think that this is it. Like, things are looking good until the picture changes for some of these coins. It's looking bullish. I mean, I don't have much to say. It's besides that, because funny you say this, because just today in the comment section, one of the altcoin videos, someone had mentioned that, you know, they were basically saying that, hey, you know, I have my doubts about whether the market is going to rally from here because everyone is bullish.
Yeah.
Like, that should not be a reason, right?
Yep. And we've talked about this before, right? People who tend to look only to counter trade the market, they wait to see, hey, everybody's euphoric, everybody is bullish, so I'm going to counter trade it. I think it's a good enough reason to be cautious, but the market can stay extremely bullish and everybody on the same side for a very long time, and we saw that, right, from 7,000 all the way to 20,000. Everyone was bullish, and people who tried to counter trade the market all the way towards the upside got hurt. So yeah, I totally agree with you over there. Even if you think that it's time to be cautious, it's not a time to be shorting into a strong bull market. And
Exactly.
Another question, Krisha, is it a bull market?
No, not yet. I don't think so, at least. I do believe that we still have a way to go. I think if you look at just the monthly, like, I mean, we closed a month today, right? If you look at the monthly, as in, like, we have not taken out that topmost wick that we have been looking at, Sean, right? Which is pretty much that 10,500 region.
Indeed.
We still have these lower highs on the weekly. So I do believe that. I think you were the first one who spotted that out. You said, you know what? As soon as we take out that weekly cloud, only then will this picture actually flip. That was, you know, you said that. So I agree with you on that, actually.
Yeah, so yes, everything is looking good, but we still need to see a few things before we can say, hey, you know what, we are in an official bull market, a strong uptrending bull market, at least on the higher time frames, right? By higher time frames, I am referring to the monthly and the weekly. And you know what? Let's start now with the monthly time frame, right? Here we're looking at Bitcoin, like we said, close about the 9,350 region. Why is that level so important? We'll do a quick recap for you guys. Let's go ahead and place a quick horizontal. We were looking at essentially these candles over here, guys, all the way back in April 2018, right? We're using them, as well as these candles over here. You can see that user support, and then we closed underneath. This was all the way back in September 2019. Ever since then, guys, we have failed to close even a single candle above that 9,350-ish, 9,400 level, right? Every candle was either closing right at it or underneath it, using that level as a major monthly resistance. That is why this candle close above it has been so key, right? So important. But that doesn't mean by any means that we are going to moon right from here. In fact, I do think that there's a strong chance, and actually a higher chance, that we do make our way down to around perhaps 8,800, 8,600, maybe even a wick down to that level, and then have a possible move towards the upside. But I must emphasize, with this candle close, I am leaning even stronger for an upside move in the days or the weeks to come, right? So any dip towards the downside is going to be an opportunity to get a position in if you don't already. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to turn on the mango ribbon on this monthly time frame over here and see what the mango ribbon is telling us. Right over here we have the mango ribbon, and you can see that overhead we do have key zone resistance yet to deal with. Underneath we do have that, well, monthly Tenkin where we were taking trades off, right? At 8,450, 8,550 region. We are also above the monthly 10 SMA and above the monthly 21 EMA. And Krisha, this is what we were talking about, right? One of the few things that we yet to see Bitcoin fully take over before we can say, hey, you know what? We are in a bull market, even on the higher time frames, and by higher time frames referring to the monthly and the weekly. Over here on the monthly, we need Bitcoin to even take over the key zone. It's not completely imperative, but you can see that historically too, guys. If you just zoom out, right? In fact, you know what, Krisha, I'm going to show them the BLX chart right over here. Okay, I'm going to hide the horizontals, hide the bull flag that Bitcoin is printing on the monthly time frame, and show them that, hey, every time Bitcoin starts trending above the key zone, the Tenkin, the 10 SMA, that's when we have our big macro bull cycle, a big uptrend towards the upside. And this is why I want people to not FOMO just yet. Don't FOMO at all, in fact, guys, but you will get your opportunities. Look at these wicks that we do get, right? You do get opportunities to buy, even if Bitcoin does have a break above the key zone over here and starts going aggressively to the upside. There will be an opportunity to enter with even more conviction on a strong bull market move, right? Krisha,
Absolutely.
Any thoughts?
No, I completely agree with you, because at the end of the day, as in, like, especially for those, you know, people who get in and they want to be a little more sure about their trade, you need to wait on these levels. I think patience is going to be key here.
Yep.
Right, to get that good that high probability trade. The trade is on your side at that point.
Yep. So right now, buying into resistance may not be the best idea. In fact, it's not a good idea at all. We keep harping on this over here at Mango. Control your emotions. Do not buy into resistance. Right. That it's that ironic thing about human emotions, right? You know what you're doing is bad, but at the same time, it's still the more comfortable thing to be doing. You tend to buy into resistance and sell into support, and that's what a lot of people were doing at around that 8,550 region when we were taking our longs, right? It looked uncomfortable. It looked so bearish on the daily, the 2-day, but we had, let's go ahead and do a recap on the thesis of our trade that we took over here. Why did we take our trade, Krisha? Essentially, 2-day 21 EMA, 2-day 200 moving average, monthly 10K, monthly 10 SMA. There was so much lining up over there. These candles look bearish. Yes, look at the 2-day over here. Now you're seeing it bounce, but at the time, everybody was like, oh man, this is looking so bad. This is looking so bad. We're going to come down 7,100. And I said, yeah, you know what? We are likely to come down even lower, but not until we take out those levels. That is support. So what do? Buy into support and sell into resistance. But people tend to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Yep. And look at that, Krisha. Are you noticing this? 2-day 10 SMA. This is something you were mentioning to me, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
I think that's a strong reaction. So like it's not easy because it's funny. Just let's say just what an hour ago, I had Junkai and Joshua post a picture of an inverted, not an inverted, sorry, a bearish head and shoulders on the 4-hour time frame, right? But I'm looking at this 2-day price action. I'm like, this is too strong. Like this is so strong. Like I'm expecting some sort of effery on the chart here. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, this is why I like to play the higher time frames, and it is what we teach in the Mango Seed program too, right? That the higher time frames, and we go over it in far more detail, of course, in conjunction with support, resistance, and trend analysis modules. But people tend to make this mistake where they get too fixated on the lower time frames, and they don't understand that at any moment the higher time frame may step in and take over. So any thesis that your lower time frame may have, for example, on the lower time frames, I do agree that hey, this may actually come down, perhaps all the way down to 8,600, 8,000, 9,000 at the very least, right? I wouldn't be surprised at all. But like you said, 2-day 10 SMA this is pretty significant, right? We close the candle above it. We're using it to the point right now as support. Look at that.
Yeah,
Look at that.
exactly.
And that's coming in at 9,350. So yes, the 4-hour, yes, the 12-hour, perhaps even the daily might be pointing down, but we have the 2-day saying we have support right underneath us. We have the monthly saying, hey, we just closed a major monthly level. Let's go back on over to it and say 9,350 is that major level, right? So right underneath us, we have that support. But hey, do the bulls allow for the lower time frames to have its time, hit those next level of support? Because the 2-day could very well come down further, and it'll be completely fine. It'll be completely fine, right? 2-day can come test the 21 EMA again, and that's coming in at around 8,900 actually, Krisha. So that does line up with that head and shoulders or whatever formation you guys want to call it on the lower time frames. We'll come back to that. Before we go all over the place, we've been going from the monthly to the 2-day because we just wanted to show the thesis on which we took our trade, right? Support over here, resistance overhead. And this was another trade, right? We didn't get the 2-day 21 EMA, but we bought over here of the daily 21 EMA. Again, just buying support and selling into resistance, right? Now, what I want to look at, guys, is the weekly time frame. Okay, I'm going to turn on the Ichimoku and show how gorgeous this has been. You can see that literally the top of the underneath of the cloud over here has been proving as resistance. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles now, Krisha, in a row. 5 weekly candles we've smacked against the weekly cloud. And well, even though this may look bearish to people, to me, I'm seeing us grind against major resistance. And each of these reactions, and you guys know how I like to look at this, right? I want to see the reaction of these candles, of the resistance or of the support. So if you showed me only the candle on the 4th of May, Krisha, if you're looking at it, I'd be like, okay, you know what? That's a little bearish because we had a strong rejection, close underneath the Kijun over there as well, and it's not looking too good at all. But look at the reaction after that. Look at each candle after that has been strong bounces. Every time the bears have come and tried to push the price back down, the bulls are defending that 8,600 region like it's no problem. Look at the bounces of that level. This is turning into a mega bull flag, and we showed this best on the 2-day time frame in yesterday's video. But if we actually start breaking to the upside, I think people are going to be very, very surprised. Whoa, this is actually pointing to the T, Krisha. To the T, the measured move is pointing to the top of this major wick over here at 13,800-ish. Wow. Yeah, actually,
that's insane.
Perfectly.
And also, Sean, look at the 10 SMA and the 21 EMA on the weekly time frame. Just pull that up, and you'll notice how aggressively that's moving up. And I do believe that we have a cross there. Now, of course, this needs to be confirmed, right, with a couple more weekly candles. But I think that's strong, right? Because if you kind of just go and back test these bullish crossovers between the 21 EMA and the 10 SMA on the weekly time frame, they've been pretty good. The one fake out that we've had so far was the last bullish crossover. But ever since, before that, this was that first sign that said that, hey, on the weekly time frame, this may very well be heading into a bull market.
Yep. So we have the signs on the weekly as well as on the monthly. I do want to say that, hey, if we do get this cross, I wouldn't be too surprised if price kind of gets sucked down into it. If you do draw the massive symmetrical triangle, a lot of people are looking at over here, guys, on the weekly time frame, it does line up, right? We're on the top of this massive symmetrical triangle right now. Question is, do we break to the upside, or do we see another rejection and come down towards the weekly 21 EMA, weekly 10 SMA? So again, that's something to keep in mind. I don't want people to get too bullish just yet. Weekly resistance overhead.
Where are you leaning, Sean? Like, if you had to kind of pick a side here, gun to your head.
Ooh, this is a really hard one, because the 2-day 10 SMA and the 2-day 21 EMA is what I'm going to be basing my decision on. Rather, if we close candles underneath those levels, that's when I start getting more and more bearish. As long as we are closing candles above it, which is what we are doing right now, right? 2-day 10 SMA, 2-day 21 EMA, I'm going to be leaning towards this popping towards the upside. And to be honest, just looking at the structure over here on the 2-day time frame, an argument can be made for a bull flag, right? You have your symmetrical triangle right over here, as well as your pole. And hey, this is pretty much what we're looking at on the weekly time frame too. And the measured move is pointing to, like we said, 13,800. Krisha, what are your thoughts?
I think 13,800 is actually pretty damn plausible, because we just move on over to the monthly time frame, okay? And you'll notice how, okay, so we've closed over a major monthly level, correct?
Yes, 9,300.
Which was correct. So 9,350, we've closed over it. Now, if you kind of go ahead and assess the next monthly resistance overhead, that is only sitting at around 10,800.
Yes, so.
Okay, but if you look at how price on the monthly time frame, if you look at how price has reacted off of that 10,800 region, okay, notice the wicks on that. Now, back in June of 2019, we made our way all the way up to that 10,800 region, only to wick all the way up to that 13.7 14K region.
Yep.
However, that month we came back down to close underneath 10,800. So we could very well do something very similar here.
And yeah, guys, I want you guys to really pay attention to what Krisha has just pointed out to us right over here. This 10,800 level is going to be far more important than people actually think. If you go all the way back to the rally all the way to 20,000, right? You guys are going to see that, yes, we went all the way up to 20,000. But where did the month close? The month closed at 13,800. Let's go ahead and look at the exact number. 13,899, right? Right over there. Okay, cool. So even though we had a big move to 20,000, the month closed at 13,800. Okay, keep that number in mind. Let's go ahead and look at the next rally now that Bitcoin had. Right over here, we had a rally all the way to, guess what number? 13,800. The high was exactly 13,831. So the previous rally's monthly level, guys, at 13,800 served as the major resistance for this rally's level right over here at 13,800, right? It proved to be the high. But where did this month close? Well, this month closed at 10,800, 10,700, the level that Krisha is trying to point out to us. It is going to be very important on its own as well. So a lot of key levels to be contended with in the coming days. Yep, Krisha's right over here. We came close underneath it, and ever since then, resistance, came and used it as resistance on the month of Feb 2020 as well, before we had a major dump all the way down to 3,800. So that is going to be a key level. You're right, Krisha. And hey, if I do remember correctly, that is the top of the weekly cloud. Let's go ahead and pull that up.
Is it?
I think so. And yes, 10,744, 10,800-ish. That's exactly the top of the cloud. And
oh, shit.
Yep.
Good freaking spot there.
Yep. So that does have some confluence over there too. If we manage to close a weekly candle inside the cloud, we will have that edge-to-edge trade possibility. In fact, let's go ahead and look at that right now on a live chart. By the way, guys, we're looking at the Brave new coin chart over here. This is not updated live, so we're going to go ahead and look at the live chart right now. We look at Brave Liquid, Brave new coin, just because it has more history. But if you want to look at the live chart, you want to look at something like Bitstamp. And currently, Krisha, we are inside the cloud, but we opened we opened outside the cloud, so not as clear cut as you would like. But if we manage to close this week's weekly candle inside the cloud, well, that's going to trigger that edge-to-edge trade all the way up to 10,753, and hey, possibly up to even that 11,300 region that you talked about not too long ago in this video. So
That's right.
a lot of confluence over there. So Krisha,
Yeah.
bullish on the monthly, bullish on the weekly, bullish on the 2-day. But what if I tell you that, hey, there is a bear case, a strong bear case that I think a lot of people are missing? What if I tell you? Are you going to be surprised, or are you going to be like, yeah, I see it?
As in, for me, I mean, the market has one side, Sean. It's the right side. So as long as...
Well said,
you know.
well said. Okay, so let's go over something that I think a lot of people are not giving enough attention to. And I'm going to switch on over to one of the mid time frames now. By mid time frame, I'm talking about the daily. Okay, we're going to turn off everything, keep our chart as clean as possible, turn off all the indicators. And I want us to go ahead and mark out the current candle levels that are pretty important, and to me that level is 9,600. okay, it's where the current price is currently facing resistance. And I'm going to go ahead and mark that out, and I'm going to talk to you guys about why I think this is a very important level and people are missing its significance in the grand scheme of things. So let's start with this consolidation, this entire consolidation over here, Krisha, the symmetrical triangle. Okay, if you go back to around May 7th, the up thrust where we went right past 9,600. okay, we went up there, saw resistance at around 10,000, key psychological level as well. In the next 2 days we came and closed underneath that level, right, underneath 9,600. okay,
That's right.
What did that lead to? A quick dump all the way down to our 2-day 21 moving average, exponential moving average around 8,000. okay, big move towards the downside. All right, so we bounced over there on the 2-day 21 EMA. We went and retook that level, lost it almost immediately, tested one more time, saw resistance on that level. Okay, we took it, use it as support. As soon as we lost it, dumped again all the way down to 8,680, which was what? Again, your 2-day 21 EMA. So this level over here at around 9,600 has proven to be a level that has been contended with, and each time the bears have won it back, it has led to moves towards the downside. Okay, let's zoom out now and see how important this level has been historically. Well, you can see going all the way back just before the move in Feb, the move that led to the big March move, the Corona candle move. That was the move that was the candle or the level that actually started it all. It was when we lost 9,600 that we officially confirmed the downtrend, the lower high, and the big dump towards the downside. Okay, cool. You can zoom out some more again and see that, okay, right before the big up thrust to 10,500, setting in this weekly low high over here, what was the level that we are contending with? 9,600. Resistance. Took it, tested it, and had our next move to 10,400. This was almost another $1,000 move. Okay, let's zoom out again. Look at the big China pump, all the way from 7,700, 7,400, all the way to where? The resistance level was 9,600. That's the level that we were using as resistance. Couldn't get past it and dumped all the way back down to our 6,500 region. Going back to even these areas over here, you're going to see how important that level was, right? We talked about this candle right over here, Krisha, in the past. Like I think 2 weeks ago, we used this to take many trades off. This wick at 19th September, used the support, bounced off it. When we lost it, took the wick out immediately. That's when the spillover started all the way down to the 7,000, 8,000 region. So that level has been very important in the past. Okay, so let's go ahead back now to the consolidation and say, okay, what's going on over here now? Well, these candles over here, Krisha, the past 2 days, they've been action that took place on the weekend. So even though we took that level back, almost immediately we lost it, and now we're using it as resistance yet again. So this is going to be the key level, Krisha. If we see a rejection of this again, it is very likely that we are going to see a move back down to that 2-day 21 exponential moving average. What are your thoughts?
Holy shit, are my thoughts, Sean.
Oh,
Like
okay then.
I did not see this one. This one totally I did not see this horizontal. I don't even have this marked on my chart. Like I'm actually just assessing it, right? I'm actually going back in time throughout this entire cycle that we've had, this little mini bear cycle combined with the last one that we've had, and holy moly. And especially this cycle, if you're kind of looking, if you want to give more importance to, well, this current cycle that we're in, the impetus to us having like these major dumps
Has been
has
9,600.
been 9,600. Like, what the hell?
Yep.
Holy shit. Like, this isn't, I cannot believe I kind of missed this. And not just that, Sean. Now, if you just kind of have to look at, now, because you said just remove all the indicators, now I also spotted something else. If, if you're just playing horizontals, okay, so you're only playing horizontals and no patterns, nothing, just support and resistance, and you're looking at this 9,600 region, okay, and you're just looking at price action, looking at price structure relative to this 9,600 region.
Yep.
Dude, we have like these higher these lower highs falling into 9,600.
Yep, we do.
But now suddenly this looks bearish AF, right?
Yep, it does pose a more weaker structure, right? A structure that is looking to roll over. We're putting in these lower highs going into 9,600, oscillating around the level. The bulls and the bears are fighting around this level. You can clearly see that's how you get your psychology of either symmetrical triangle or your descending triangle. But at the top over here, it is bearish, right? And this key level over here is going to be the one that decides it all, in my opinion, on the daily and the 2-day time frame. You can start closing multiple candles above here. Well, that's when I think the bears are going to be under some severe pressure, because as things stand, we still have a lower high yet again, right? Your high at 10,000, your lower high at around 9,900, and now again 9,700. Hey, can the bulls take this region over here? We can mark this out as a zone, in fact, Risha, and if the bulls start clearing daily candles over here, I think the bears are going to be under some pressure, going to start closing out their positions. What happens when bears start closing positions? Well, they become buyers, right? They fuel the potential move towards the upside. So it's going to come down to who gives in first. Which big bear gives in first to join the bull side? Because whichever bear gives in, he will be joining the bull side, right? Just by the nature of how this works. Again, to explain this to people who don't fully understand what I mean, when you short into a market, right, what you are doing is you're borrowing from the exchange and you're taking that borrowed BTC and you're selling into the exchange. If you want to close your position, well, you need to get that BTC back and give it back to the exchange. So you have to buy it back from the market. So if you, for example, let's say put in a short position at 9,600 and then you see prices come all the way up to 10,000, you feel the pressure, like, you know what, this is not going my way, I need to close my position. You are going to have to turn into a buyer and you are buying at a higher level. So you just end up being fuel for the move towards the upside. By that logic though, the bulls are counting on these levels over here to hold. If the bulls are long from these levels, right, just like how we are, well, we are going to have to close out our position if we start losing, if Bitcoin starts losing these levels over here. And what ends up happening is we have to sell the BTC that we borrowed and we end up being fuel for the downside move. So no matter what happens, Krisha, we have a big move coming up very, very soon, either to the upside or towards the downside. So I showed you how on the daily time frame we have this key 9,600 level, right? That could be the deciding factor if we see a rejection and then continuation. That's the key, Krisha, because I want to make it very clear. Yes, 9,600 is very, very important. But each time that the bears have retaken this level, they have shown weakness in seeing follow through, right? The follow throughs have not been as aggressive as before. Before, we've had some major moves, right? All the way from 9,600 to Well, 6,500. Then again, from 9,600 to 3,000. This time, they pushed it down to 8,000. That was a good move, right? In fact, the 12-hour wine called that top two over there. We're going to go show that next, because next time frame is 12-hour that we'll be talking about. And then the second time we came up to 10,000, we pushed down only to 8,600. Bulls are showing their hand as well, right? So I want to make that very, very clear. Yes, 9,600. Yes, the bulls have lost it, but the bears still need to see continuation on the next rejection, okay? Or the bulls are going to be even in stronger control and more confidence, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. But really, what really stands out is something that you mentioned much earlier when you kind of brought up this 9,600 region, is that the action that took place wherein, price actually closed over this region, okay, here at 9,600, happened over the weekend.
Indeed.
Right, so it's it's suspect right now.
Exactly. So
this looks like imagine this dumps. If this dumps, that's gonna look like a weekend fake out.
Exactly. And
right.
I was really hoping that at least this candle over here, yesterday's 31st of May candle, would close above 9,600. That would give me a lot of confidence to keep my entire position open. But because of this action over here, I actually did hedge out my position, and I'll be waiting for us to actually to retake this level to open that up entirely again. So I'm just being patient over here. We've played this almost perfectly now, this entire consolidation. Our patience is what has paid off, right? So I'm going to be patient again. With that, Kusha, I actually do want to switch on over to the 12-hour time frame. I do want to point that, hey, on the 12-hour time frame, you're beginning to see the structure of our head and shoulders, right? It's not entirely there yet, but we might be putting in the right shoulder as we speak. Okay, right here at around 9,600 actually might be where the left shoulder comes in, and that's going to be pretty beautiful if the bears get a follow through all the way down, breaking 8,600 right from here. We can see the head and shoulders a lot better on the 4-hour time frame, just like Joshua and Jankai were talking about on watching our Zilliqa pump, Krisha, as we speak, up to 180 Satoshi right now. It's been distracting me in the corner of my eye. Really good to see that. But what I do want to show is the mango vine quickly, because someone asked me to show it. I've not shown it again in a while. The mango vine is not giving a buy signal, not yet at the very least, guys. The last two buy signals were right over here at around 8,100-ish, 8,200-ish. We took the trade at around 8,500 of the daily. 12-hour wine daily, all having confluence right over here. Had the big move towards the upside. That was a nice more than $1,200 move. And now again, right over here, it gave the call at around 8,700, confluencing with what? Your 2-day 21, 2-day 200 moving average. Over here too, you could have taken the call on the 2-day 21 EMA at 8,000. That would have been even a strong move, almost a $2,000 move actually, right? 8,000 to 10,000, but I missed those. Took my trade a little higher, and over here we actually got the trade at 8,650 and a nice $1,100 move thus far. So right now it's not giving the call just yet. We'll have to just be patient. Okay, so that's the 12-hour. I do want to show the potential head and shoulders on the 4-hour time frame. And Krisha, what are your thoughts? You're the pattern queen.
I mean, the 4-hour measured move for this head and shoulders basically takes Bitcoin all the way down to the bottom of this daily 12-hour symmetrical triangle, right? Wherever people are drawing it. But now I noticed, did you said you were gunning for 8,600, right? If this has to come down further.
Well, I'm actually gonna go. I just did the measured move using candle closes at around. So if I'm looking at the head and shoulders as a basic structure using support and resistance, I'm going to be marking this key level over here at around 9,380-ish, and that's how I'm going to be drawing this at the very least, where I'll be using this left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Now I know people might draw it using wicks. I know you're likely to draw that way, yes. But just to keep things simpler for me, I'm going to be drawing this way. And if I use the measured move from the highs over here, the candle closed at 9,700, it's pointing down to around 9,000 the 9,000 level, Krisha, and that does line up with where the 2-day 21 EMA is coming in at. Again, let me go ahead and look at that. Actually, no, the 2-day 21 EMA is coming at around 8,936. So perhaps if we use your technique, let's try that. Let's try your technique again. You can go ahead and draw it on your screen too, and you can tell me if we're getting the same number. But let me just.
Damn! Look at that. That 2-day 21 EMA is actually kind of. It's so it's forming the lower diagonal of the overall symmetrical triangle. Like, it's forming it so well.
There you go. That's why I want to
That is
just
the
keep it
guide.
simple,
That is
right?
the
Yeah.
ultimate guide.
Yeah,
But
that's
I do
exactly
believe that, you know, if this does play out, if the Head and Shoulders does play out, we're coming down there. But now the question is, we're so close to the apex of this,
Yep.
right? This is going to bring about a very, very high volatility move. But
So
I don't know if it comes down there. I'm looking at this as a much, much weaker structure.
if it does
And
come down
especially-
there again, I think you're right, right? It'll be more likely that we actually break towards the downside because we're going to have lower highs. And if you just look at it overall, the bulls have put in a higher low, yes, but the angle of the higher low is not as aggressive as the angle of the lower highs that have been putting in. The bears have showed their hand once, twice, 3 times. The bulls show their hand one more time and have a stronger candle close. I wouldn't want to see it come all the way down to 8,600. I'd want to see a defense around that 8,800, 9,000 level, right? If you want the bulls to show a little bit more confidence. So it's decision time. Like I said, monthly, however, is looking really, really good. So if I had to still make a decision, I'd lean towards the bulls pulling through over here, regardless of whether we come down to 8,600, because the monthly had that amazing candle close, unless that is a fake out as well. And hey, you got to account for that too, right? Anything can happen in the markets, and you can't get overly bullish or overly confident. That kind of stuff will be punished.
Yeah, and I think right now it's going to be an if this then that game. What we do know, the information that we do have in front of us is that we did close over a major monthly level.
Mhm.
Okay. However, with the this new thing of the 9,600 that you just brought up, that cannot be ignored either. Okay,
Yep.
now we have a consolidation pattern here with the symmetrical triangle. Now this, if this does have to come down, the measured move, Sean, of the symmetrical triangle, but believe it or not, actually takes Bitcoin all the way down to 6,980.
Are you serious? That's the
Okay, which
okay.
is going to be in line, very, very close to the 2-day Kijun.
So that's perfect actually, because
Yeah, so-
I've been calling 6,900 for a very, very long time. So the longer this has taken, my target has come higher and higher, right? So initially I was calling around 6,500, and then every 2-day candle that passed, I added around $200 to what I'd be looking for. And now it's saying that, hey, looking at around 6,900, that does make sense.
Yeah, so I think that's why I think it's going to be, and these are all major moves. Whatever move is coming up next is basically what you said. Whatever comes next is going to be volatile.
Yep.
Okay, so I think this is the spot where people need to employ patience. All traders, with Bitcoin at least.
Well, if you are bearish, there's a trade to be had over here, right? If you're bearish, you could be looking to build a short position around this level, and you're wrong. When you're wrong really, really quickly, and that's just overhead, right? If you're bullish, I think it's time to be patient.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to be building a short position over here. I'm not saying that it's wrong to do so at all. I'm basing my decision on the fact that, hey, macro related issues, not issues, macro related factors, as well as what the monthly has done, right, in terms of the candle close that we had over 9,300. I do think the bulls may just actually pull through, regardless of whether we get down to 8,900 or not. However, Krisha, if we close underneath 8,681 on a 2-day time frame, we would have taken out in one fell swoop the 2-day 21 EMA, the 2-day 200 moving average, the 2-day Tenkin. In that situation, that's when I'll be looking for a move towards the downside, and I may very well put on a trade towards the downside if we do see that, regardless of whether the monthly has closed over 9,300 or not, because this is going to be too significant. I do think we will see a spill over to at least 6,900 after that.
Fair enough. I mean, for me, the thing is still the same. I am focusing my attention on longs only.
Longs only, eh?
Yes.
We have
Yes,
Krisha,
yes.
the bull over here. Okay, cool. So guys, that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. Like I said, we went over pretty much the key time frames. I do want to just take a quick look at what the 4-day is saying. The 4-day has been really, really useful too. And look at that, Krisha. 4-day 10 SMA, so aggressive, bounced off it twice. Now we've been saying, hey, 4-day, the Mango community is the only community that watches it, and it's given us such good trades that's kept us on the right side of the market too. And yep, it's looking really good over here. 4-day in a bull market. There's no doubt about it, right? Like even last time around when we did come up to around that 10,000 level on this big up thrust in Jan to Feb, we were looking at that 4-day key June, right? We're like, hey, we want to see multiple 4-day candles close above it. We saw only one 4-day candle close above it, lost at the next candle, and had the big move towards the downside. This time around, we are above everything that we usually look at. So 4-day actually looks like a bull flag too, Krisha. Look at that. It looks like a bull flag. Wow. So I'm leaning to the upside too, but underneath 8,600, and I'm going to be looking for a move towards the downside. In fact, 4-day 21, Krisha, 8,600 as well. Cool. Lot of influence there. I like that. I like when everything, when my life is made easy, when my life is made stress free, when my life is made the mango way. Okay, so now Krisha, the big link. Let's go ahead and look at Link. Everyone's excited for Link.
Everyone is looking at Link, and rightfully so. I mean, look at this baby. Are we starting off with Link USD or Link BTC?
Let's start off with Link USD. We've been looking at Link BTC for the longest time because there's been nothing to be looked at on Link USD in the past. But hey, Link has made the move we were looking for, right? What have we been saying? We wanted Link USD to make a move towards the upside, a decisive move independent of what Bitcoin is doing, and we got that over the past 2 days. We got a candle close over these horizontals over here at $4.08, got the retest, and now continuation to the upside. Hey, Kisha, this is actually looking really, really good.
It is. It finally freaking broke. And look at how generous this chart is.
Yep. Again.
Such a generous chart. Like there is no chart as generous as Chainlink, guys.
Yep.
Okay, we need to thank this chart for those of you who actively trade on Chainlink.
Someone mentioned in the comments the other day, Krisha, that he's like, Sean, why are you shilling Chainlink so much? And I'm like, I'm not shilling Chainlink, man. I know nothing about Chainlink. I just like how beautiful the chart is, and it's not because I love Chainlink. I'm pretty sure there's lots of good reason to love Chainlink, but I don't know anything about the fundamentals when pertaining to Chainlink. What I love about it is that it makes my life easy. I'll trade anything if it makes my life easy. It's about, hey, freaking just living a stress-free life, and Chainlink has given us, remember that the move you called, Krisha, to the T, all the way down to $2 when we were trading at around $4.50. Yeah. That's the kind of moves Chainlink gives you, right? And because it's clear what could happen, and easy to know when you're wrong, easy to know when your ideas are invalidated, and that's what makes a chart worth trading, at least for us. So yeah, again, broke to the upside, gave us the beautiful retest, right? This is what you're talking about in terms of generous, and now seeing that continuation to the upside. Targets, Krisha?
Oh, targets. This is a tough one, actually. I'm saying we go. Okay, the thing is that when you're looking at Chainlink USD, okay, Sean, we are very, very close to reaching price discovery again.
Oof.
If you just zoom the hell out of the chart, like, I mean, there's not much, really.
In fact, if you look at it, Krisha, I do want to point out that we're sitting smack against weekly resistance already.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you turn on the weekly, it's $4.47. That's weekly resistance right there. Wow.
Yeah.
Chainlink, so if we close above that, this week's going to be important for Chainlink and for Bitcoin. So you're seeing a lot come together.
I think this could very well go all the way up to at least $4.65. I have my eyes on that level, but after that, Sean, I mean, it's all up for grabs, right? Because it is officially price discovery from then on.
If we close a weekly above $4.50, yes. That's when I'm going to get extremely bullish, or a 2-day candle above $4.75. So rather what I want to see is two-day candles close above $4.70. That's when I'm like, okay, you know what? Price discovery is here. Bitcoin is likely going to have made a significant move by then too, so it's all going to line up. That's what I want to see. If Chainlink is sitting over $4.75, I want Bitcoin to have made its move too, so that way Chainlink is like a free horse in the wild, right? Nothing to stop it. Bitcoin's not sitting against resistance. Chainlink is in price discovery. We are going to around $9, $10, like around 2x from there is what I'd be looking at there, because no one has not anything to to make a decision to sell off, right? At that point, when you're indecisive about where to sell, that's when you see prices just get really, really volatile. And that's what we'll be looking for, guys. Or wick above $5 or multiple candle closes over $4.70.
Sean, I want you to tell me something now. Okay, now this is I'm asking you because I'm not entirely sure. If you pan it over to your monthly, go on to your monthly. Do you have your horizontal zone?
Yes.
Okay, so can we both agree that there is a major support at $4.08?
Jesus, we closed above that.
We closed above that,
No
right?
wonder.
So, but however, with this, with the kind of minimal price action on Chainlink USD, what are your thoughts? I mean, that still has some merit, though, right?
It does. No, we closed above it. It looks like we've come and let me mark these out to the T. Let me be a little bit more careful with marking this out. So we closed above it. Let's see how price has been oscillating around it on the daily time frame, okay? And that's the level we came and tested, Krisha. That's the level we've been fighting this entire consolidation. Yes. Oh my lord, good eye. $4.08 is where we broke out, and that's what Chainlink has been smacking against this entire time. We've been looking at the daily time frame, trying to figure out what the hell is Chainlink doing. It's just kind of doing nothing, going sideways, but that's what it's been doing, grinding against that monthly level. And just towards the end of the month, on the last day, it broke it, retested, seeing continuation, and now the new month is looking really, really good. This is Chainlink has made highs on the monthly, Kusha. That's what this is. It's made a new high on the monthly, not on a wick basis, but on candle closing. Yes, it did. So this is looking really good. Wow, really good stuff, Kusha. Okay, so that's Chainlink USD. Let's go ahead and take a look at Chainlink BTC. Well, Chainlink BTC is pretty clear cut. We've been watching this for a really, really long time. I want you to put on your Link BTC on the Ichimoku, Kusha, and we've come and tested the top of the cloud, wicked above it, but looks like we're closing underneath it. If we can close above it, it'd be a really, really good sign.
What time frame are you looking at?
On the daily, Chainlink BTC on the daily.
On the daily time frame, voila. I think it's okay. I don't know if I would give. I'm trying to kind of zoom out to look at how price has reacted off of the price off of the cloud resistance, right? I think it's all right. It's all right off of cloud resistance. I think Chainlink. This is also a break, Sean. If you really have to look at it, I mean, you spotted something this morning, right?
Yep.
On Link BTC.
So this is what I'm looking at.
It was a certain pattern play that you spotted.
Right over here. I just drew an ascending triangle using the level at around 44,337 as resistance, and then a ascending trend line right from the wicks at 2nd of May, then again at 18th of May, and then again at the 20th of May. So we'd have a ascending triangle that we have broken on over to the upside. We can go ahead and have a measured move, rough move, and we're looking at basically testing this cluster over here at around 51,000 Satoshi. I do want to point out, though, Kusha, that yes, the top of the cloud historically has not been too significant, but I want us to look at the holistic situation over here and mark out that wick at around 45,930 Satoshi, and you're going to see that that has been a key level. You can go ahead and mark it out quickly right over here on the 13th of April, if you know what I'm talking about. So that lines up with the top of the cloud. If we can clear that level, I think it's going to be important. So that's going to line up with the top of the cloud, as well as breaking into this volatile zone over here between, well, you could say 47,000 Satoshi if you want to be a little bit safer. I think that is more important, to be honest. We can mark out this zone over here actually at around 47,000 Satoshi to, just so you're on the same page with me, 45,000, 46,000 Satoshi. You're going to see what I'm talking about. And if you close candles above there, in that case, I'm going to be looking for a move all the way to around 52,000 Satoshi area.
Yeah,
but
that's amazing.
All of this pales in comparison, Krisha, when we look at the weekly time frame and just understand that the weekly has been in a long-term uptrend, leading all the way from early 2018, putting in higher lows actually starting 2019, if you want to be exact with it. And you could say it's a massive rising wedge, but hey, this massive rising wedge could go on till the end of time, right? It's only when we break this trend line towards the downside that we can say, hey, this is going to have a big aggressive move towards the downside, because yes, you could say it's a massive rising wedge, and it is, but it can stay that way for a long time, and this could break towards the upside. Wedges could very well break to the upside. It is not a bearish formation until it makes a decision, right? Until then, it is just a trend continuation that is turning into a possible break. But which way is the question?
Yeah, I think the lines of resistance that you just spotted out, I think those are going to be very, very key in really determining where Chainlink BTC goes. But right now, just by looking at that Link USDT chart and just how it closed, relative to its monthly level, what are your thoughts on that? Just, if Chainlink actually picks up momentum on its USD chart, Sean, I think there's, Link BTC could very, very well make a run for it.
I do think that the USD chart would actually be the chart to be watching now, and that is completely in what's the word I'm looking for, but contradictory to what I don't want to say contradictory, but at odds with what I've been saying for the weeks prior to this, right? I've been saying, hey, the chart to have been looking at leading up to today was the Link BTC chart, right? But now we might want to be looking at the Link USD chart and see how it performs over there. That being said, Krish, I do want to bring your attention back on over to the weekly time frame on Chainlink BTC and the horizontal at 45,220 Satoshi. Okay, we're living above it as we speak. We've used it as resistance. It's been the highs that we've been testing over the past 2 weeks. Prior to weekly candles, that level is really key, because in early this year, the week of Feb, the week leading to the entire month of Feb, actually, we've been using that as resistance on a weekly candle closing basis. So this is going to be the candle that could lead to a move all the way up to 50,000 Satoshi. And that, what do you know, that actually lines up perfectly with the measured move of our symmetrical triangle. So that's what I'm going to be gunning for. If we even close a weekly candle over here, in fact, no, I think I'm going to be looking for the move already, because we already have a
break.
Yeah, we have a break on the day time frame symmetrical triangle. So that's cool.
Man, this is looking bullish. Like, I feel like it's going to go up. It's going to go all the way back up to the all-time highs, and it's going to test that again. Now, question is, can we? If you're looking at the weekly chart, right? If you kind of just zoom out and you're looking at this beautiful diagonal that has been basically guiding price, Sean. Do you think we could form like a larger ascending triangle on it?
On the weekly time frame? Oh yes. I've been actually postulating that for a while too.
Yeah.
I think we could very well do it. Just to mark out what Krisha's talking about, guys, I'm gonna try. Where's my triangle? I think she's talking about something like this, something that we've alluded to in the past as well, like this. Okay. And if we do break this, go ahead and mark that out for you guys to the upside on the weekly time frame. We have marked this out in the past, so this is actually going to turn into a massive bull flag too, Krisha. The pole leading from the 6th of Jan the way to the symmetrical triangle, right? That is a bull flag possibility, and we are looking at a minimum of 70,363 Satoshi. But if we use the bull flag along with it, let's go ahead and see what this is pointing to. Well, it's going to point to around 77,000, 78,000 actually, to round off to the upside. So some really volatile moves. And what, like, people, when we first called a 85% up thrust all the way from the cup and handle that we had in the daily time frame, and it took, I think, 55 days to play out, but we did have an 80% move towards the upside. At the time it seemed ridiculous, but it played out. So this time, let's see what the percent move is looking at. It's a 57% move towards the upside, and this is against the Bitcoin pairing. So if we are looking at Bitcoin move up and Chainlink move up as well, okay, I just want you guys to think about the situation. Bitcoin's moving up. That means Bitcoin's USD value is going up. And Chainlink is moving up against the Bitcoin pairing by 57%. It means that the Chainlink USD pairing is going to go up that much more drastically, right? Because Chainlink USD is going to have Bitcoin's momentum in terms of USD, as well as Chainlink BTC pushing up higher. We could be looking at some crazy moves on the Link USD pairing. So let's say we double this, right? From 50% to, well, 2x, that would be a 100% move, right? So we're looking at a 2x move on Chainlink USD. Let's go ahead and look at a 100% pump from around here. Does that line up with 100%? $8.85, around $9. So we may actually see a move to around $9 if things line up perfectly like that, right? Now again, we're looking too far ahead in the future, and it depends on too many things lining up. But I've put some thought into this. I'm kind of summarizing over here, but that is a possible target. Very, very possible. I don't want people to ignore the possibility. So, Krisha, any concluding thoughts?
And no, guys, this is looking bullish.
Let's go ahead and take a quick look at ADA, our beloved ADA, before we end the video. ADA hit our monthly target, Krisha, of around,
Yes.
we did have a take profit right over there. So we hit that. We actually shot up a little bit higher. And I do want to give a shout out to Trader Fraser for pointing that out to us, right, when he did, right over here. When he did point it out on the live stream, we came and basically came and tested that perfectly to the T. I was actually looking to take profits a little bit earlier if it wasn't for that. And good stuff, Fraser. And this is why it's so important to have a community. It's so important, because as good as you think you are, your community will make you better. And
Amen.
Mango has definitely helped me improve as well. So that's ADA. Zilliqa, oh man, Zilliqa is just, again,
Zilla's just going in. I think it's got more, quite frankly. I think this was a very high volatility zone, and that's what I mentioned in the video. But I think this could go all the way up to around 203.
So just
203 going all the way up to 209.
Just from this consolidation move, it's already up like 40%. Just from this consolidation. And again, another big shout out to Ashok for this one, Krisha. Ashok is the one who pointed us to this one. And again, the community, man, community bringing it all home for us, because it's really hard for us to keep an eye on all the coins, or to keep an eye on all the possibility. So when Ashok did point it out, he pointed it out somewhere all the way around 73 sats. But that's not when I took the trade, right? You have to you can't just FOMO into trade because it's looking really good. You got to be patient and wait for your system to trigger. Even the Mango Research dashboard. So you use everything in conjunction. So for example, we had the Mango Research dashboard call the trade on ADA BTC 9 days ago, 40% up since then. And then we also, going back to ZIL, ADA. We were talking about okay, you know what, let's move on to ADA. Let's start with ADA first, because I want to talk about how we took this trade. Krisha, we had so much going coming into confluence, right? We had this major consolidation on the weekly, on the daily. Then we had the 12-hour Mango Wine, which is our big go-to when we're looking to see if a move is bullish. Also give us the call like a while ago. Where was the call? Right over here, right? So I think WAG took the trade all the way over here, so he's well in profits. A nice 80% move. So when the wine actually gave the call at 520 Satoshi, but again, the wine gave the call, the dashboard has given the call, but you can still be even more you can take even the safer trade if you want to, and wait for certain levels to break, right? You could be like, okay, you know what, I'm going to wait for around 581 Satoshi to around 619 Satoshi to break before I take my trade. And that's essentially when you and I started building a position in this area, and even that was a spectacular move, right? So that way you get confluence across multiple things. You get the dashboard, you get the Mango Vine, you get your system all coming together, and hey, 50% move. Jesus Christ, man, good job on this trade, man, good job. So he's like sitting 70%, 80% in profits now. So yeah, ADA, and honestly, it was the same thing with ZIL. Just you doing the same thing across multiple assets. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to do anything special. Follow your system. It doesn't always need to give you a huge win. All you have to prevent is huge losses, guys. I'm seeing people be far too stubborn, hold on to trades because they are not willing to admit that the trade's not going their way. Hey, if the trade's not going your way, it doesn't mean that you are doing something wrong. Okay, don't personalize the trade. Just move on. Take the small loss. Don't let it get big. Take the small loss, get out, and wait for another opportunity. Imagine sitting in a losing trade while you could have switched on over to Zilliqa or ADA. Because you're being stubborn, you missed out on an opportunity. So you're not only losing on a trade that's going down, but you are also losing out on an opportunity because you're stuck in a losing trade. So it's a double loss, guys. And not to mention all the time and stress that you're staring at the price, hoping for it to bounce, and it doesn't happen. And then you take it out on your wife, you take it out on your kids. Don't do that. Don't do that way, guys. Do it the Mango way. Do it the stress-free way. Man, I'm just so happy watching ZIL pump too. I will see you guys in the next video. Krisha, any thoughts?
That's all for me.
All right, guys. Bye.
See you guys. Ciao.